And there it is once again, the view from my studio window. It is a little unsettled. The weather is not great today. A lot of wind. We've had some rain. It's very cloudy. So today I am in the studio as live can be. That is the only thing that is different today. Of course, we will be having Mr. Steve as well. He is, at the moment, busy outside. We will be taking a look at that later on today. Yes, we are all here together again. It's English Addict live from the birthplace of English, which just happens to be England. Very interesting. We will take a look at this in a few moments. But first, hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope you are feeling happy. I hope you are feeling happy today. Today is another day that we get to share our lives together. Right here on YouTube. Welcome to what is left of the world. I hope your weekend has been a good weekend. For some people, it's been a very busy weekend. For others, an unpleasant weekend. For Mr. Steve, it has been a busy weekend. Steve has been outside in the garden, very busy. Even yesterday when the weather was bad, he was going outside. He went out and he did some more renovation work in the garden. So I hope Steve hasn't tired himself out. That's all I can say. I hope Steve has not exhausted himself. We are all here together again. Yes, we have made it to the end of the weekend. I hope it's been a good one for you. Yes, it's Sunday. Yep. Is it Christmas yet? I really can't wait until Christmas. I don't know what's happening today. My tie. I cannot get my necktie straight. It's so annoying. Why? Come on, Mr. Duncan, you can do it. You've been wearing a tie for many years. I can't get it straight. Is that okay? Are you any good at tying a necktie? Are you good at it? There, that's okay. I think that looks better. It was a little bit crooked at the start of the lesson, so I hope this necktie meets with your approval. And yes, it is purple. This is definitely a purple necktie. It isn't pink, for those who are about to say so. It isn't pink, it's purple. It's a purple necktie. For those who are wondering, who is this weird guy? Well, my name is Duncan, and I teach English on YouTube. How long have I been doing this for? Really? Is that true? I can hear you shouting the answer to the question. Thank you very much. Yes, a very long time, almost 14 years. So for those who are wondering what this is, I teach English, I talk about the English language. However, I do it in a rather unusual way. And you can catch my live streams on Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. UK time. I am suffering today, once more. My hay fever has been so bad during the past couple of days. Yesterday, I spent the whole day sneezing. I couldn't stop. And something else, very embarrassing, of course, during these strange times. We went into town yesterday to do a little bit of grocery shopping. And we went into one of our local shops. However, I was really feeling quite unwell because of my hay fever. And one of the symptoms of hay fever is sneezing. You sneeze quite a lot. Unfortunately, during these very strange times that we are living in, people do not like to see others sneezing or cough or coughing. So a sneeze or a cough is not a good thing. And I tried my best yesterday. Whilst walking around the supermarket, I tried my best to hold in all of my sneezes. And I did a very good job of it, actually, because I didn't want to sneeze in the supermarket, just in case I caused a panic. However, it isn't that. It's hay fever. So I suffer from hay fever. However, at the moment, some people are thinking that it is something else, which it isn't. It is quite harmless. You cannot catch hay fever. Only I can get hay fever from the pollen produced by the grass and the trees and all of the flowers. So you don't have to worry. You can't catch hay fever. There are other things you can catch, but hay fever is not one of them. Oh, we have the live chat as well. Hello, live chat. Nice to see you here today. Hello. Also, today we are going to play a game. Something a little different today. I'm going to show you the name of the game, if you haven't already noticed, on the screen, on the thumbnail. The game is called the What, Where game. What I'm going to do later on is I'm going to show you some things, some items, things that perhaps you use during your daily life. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to name the item on the live chat and also tell me where you might find it, where that thing might be. Also, I want you to tell me what you use the thing for. Its purpose. So when we talk about the purpose of something, it is the use, how you use it. You use something for a certain purpose. So the purpose is the reason why you have it. You have a thing that performs a certain purpose. It has a certain task that it has to perform. So we are playing the What, Where game later on, and I think Mr. Steve will be joining in with the game as well. By the way, I did mention Steve. I suppose I should show you what Steve has been doing. This is actually Mr. Steve just a few moments ago, before I started my live stream. Where is Mr. Steve? Well, you can see he's been very busy in the garden doing some renovation work, but where is Steve? Mr. Steve, where are you? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Hello, Mr. Steve. What are you doing there? Well, Steve is still very busy repairing some of the patio in the back garden. So that is what Steve has been doing this morning. In fact, he's been doing this job for the past week. Yesterday the weather was bad, even though Mr. Steve did decide to go out for a while yesterday to do some of the work. So that is what you can see at the moment. That is what Steve has been doing this morning. He is finishing his renovation work. It's taken him a long time. And yes, if you are thinking Mr. Duncan, that looks like very hard work. I can tell you now, it is. Because Steve keeps complaining about doing the work. He comes into the house and he says, "Whew, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm really tired out from doing that work in the garden." There is Steve, busy working away, repairing the garden, making the patio at the back of the house look all nice. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for taking care of the garden. There he is, looking. Yes, we can see you, Mr. Steve. We know what you are up to. Yes. We will see more of Mr. Steve later on. Meanwhile, we have the live chat. Oh, hello to the live chat. Hello to, Mosen. Hello, Mosen. Nice to see you here. Also, Zoran Konstantin. Hello, Konstantin. I haven't seen you for a long time. Is it my imagination? But I feel as if I haven't seen you here for a while. Also, we have Vitas and Never Give Up. Never give up. That is very good advice, actually. Also, we have Richard and Beatrice is here. Hello, Beatrice. Nice to see you. Congratulations to you all. You are the first people joining me today on the live chat. Well done to you. Congratulations and jubilations. You have a very fast finger indeed. You have a very fast finger indeed. Hello to Sujin. Hello also. Helena is here. Also Mohey Ali. Nice to see you as well. Lil is here. Victor. Hello Victor. Nice to see you as well. My uncle was called Victor. It's true. Sadly no longer around. Hello to Jimmy. It's Sunday. You are right, Jimmy. I hope everything is all right and okay in Hong Kong, where you are at the moment. I hope things are okay. We are all thinking of you during this strange period of time. There are so many things going on around the world at the moment. Some people are feeling happy because they can go out again. Some people are feeling frustrated because they can't go out. Some are feeling angry for various reasons, which I'm sure you are aware of. And to make matters worse, here in the UK, we have been told that we have to start wearing face masks when we go outside. So if we go into a public place where there are many people in a confined or enclosed space, we will have to start wearing face masks. Can you believe it? So from the 15th of June, please don't ask me why. Don't ask me why the 15th of June, please. Here, Mr. Duncan, why have you got to start wearing face masks on the 15th of June? I have no idea, but apparently we have to start doing it. Many people going back to work, lots of people now using public transport as well. So we have our face masks ready to wear. In a few days' time, we have to start doing that. I have a feeling it might be a little too late. That's my opinion anyway, for what it's worth. Hello also to Pedro. Oh, Pedro Belmont is here today. Hello, Pedro. Nice to see you back on this Sunday. We also have Belarusia. He is here as well. Today I'm cooking cannelloni with spinach. That sounds amazing. Also grated cheese. cannelloni, spinach, cheese. I wish there were some aeroplanes flying to Argentina at the moment, because I would be there in a flash. I would. That sounds very nice. And also ham as well, a little bit of meat as well with your cannelloni. That sounds absolutely gorgeous, delicious. My mouth is now watering just thinking about it. Zuzika, hello everyone, it's Sunday. It's a fun day. It is. It is time to improve your English, no less. Hello Roberto Diaz, also Flower Espoir is here. Lil says it's very cloudy in Argentina. Very strange here. The weather is really weird at the moment, because outside it is, well, it's sunny at the moment. The sun has just come out. But you might also notice there are lots of grey skies, grey clouds above the horizon. And you can see it's also very windy. I don't know why it's so windy, but apparently next week the weather is going to be terrible. Isn't that great? I'm really looking forward to next week's weather. It's going to be terrible. Great. What wonderful news. Oh, lovely. Hello, Helena. Hello also Noor. Nice to see you here as well. Abu. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Thanks for your great effort. Please could you make the live lessons questions and answers more than reading names on the live chat? Well, people do ask questions on the live chat quite often. Some people come onto the live chat and they will chat to each other, which is great. So to be honest with you, the live chat is open for everyone, whatever you want to say. So it's not a problem. It isn't a problem. I never say that you can't ask questions. However, if there are too many questions, I might not be able to answer all of them. And then sometimes people get a little annoyed because I don't answer the questions. So if you do ask a question and I don't answer it, please don't become angry. Please don't shout at me. There is enough anger in the world at the moment without adding any more. Hello also to Kori Miyuki. Hello, Miyuki. Miyuki, nice to see you watching in Japan. Great. Hello, my nerd. Hello, my nerd and wonderful community, says Saska. Oh, hello to you as well. Nice. I'm not sure who the nerd is. Do you mean me? Well, I suppose in the past I have been described as a nerd, or maybe a geek, perhaps. Okay, I don't mind. It's all right. I will take it as a compliment. Hello also, Flower again. Mr. Duncan, could you please give us some pictures to describe and improve our English? That is a good idea. I'm going to show you some pictures today. We are talking about items, things that you use. And what I'm going to do is show you the pictures. And then we are going to, first of all, name the item. So you have to name the thing. And then I want you to tell me where you might find that thing. And also maybe how you use it. What do you use it for? What is the thing? Where do you find it? And what do you use it for? That is coming up later on. And of course we can't forget Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve is also here coming up today as well. Hello Lick. Hi everybody. Hi Vitas again. Hello also to... Hello Lolly Lolly, watching in France. Nice to see you here as well. So many people joining in on the live chat, and that is the reason why we are here, to share our love of the English language. Can I say a big thank you? Here we go. A big thank you to Aldo Fava. Aldo Fava, for your kind donation that I received this morning. What a lovely surprise. So thank you, Aldo, for your very kind donation that you sent on PayPal this morning. Thank you very much. Don't forget, all of your donations help my work continue forever and ever until the end of time. Well, okay, maybe not the end of time, but at least the end of me, which doesn't sound too bad when you think about it. Well, it might be good for you, but it won't be good for me. So thank you very much once again to Aldo Fava, for your lovely, kind donation. How very kind of you. Don't forget, I do everything for free. Everything I do it for you. Here's an interesting word. I like to talk about English words, and here is a very interesting English word. I wonder if you've seen this word before. There it is on the screen. What does that word mean? There it is again. Caveat. Caveat. It's an interesting word. It sounds like it doesn't belong in the English language, and that is because it originated somewhere else. Caveat. What is caveat? What does it mean, Mr. Duncan? Please tell us, because we are waiting patiently for you to tell us what it means. Well, there are many synonyms for this word, including warning, caution, stipulation, requirement, and condition. So it is something you must observe as an instruction or a warning or something that is required. So we will often use this word in English. A proviso or condition that must be accepted or agreed to before a deal can be made is a caveat. That is what it means. So a caveat is a condition. A proviso. I like that word, proviso. So when we say proviso, it is something that must be observed, or maybe something that must be agreed to, maybe a condition or a requirement that must be accepted or agreed to before a deal can be made. So as you would probably imagine, this particular word is used a lot in business English. And for those who are wondering, the word caveat comes from Latin and literally means let a person be aware. So you might have to have a caveat or some sort of condition, something you have to agree on before you go ahead with a business deal. Maybe when you are buying something. So maybe if you go to the shop, you might find that there is a great offer in the shop. Maybe if you buy something, you will get something else as well. However, there might be a caveat attached to that deal. There might be something that you have to do to get that special offer. So a condition, before you can say, I will do that, maybe you will have to consider a caveat, something that you have to consider before you go ahead with the agreement. I like to look at strange words. On my YouTube channel, you will find lots of live streams that I've done in the past, and you will also notice that I like looking at unusual, odd, strange words. I do. Hello, Corrie. Hello, also English with Ashtat or Ashat. Hello, also. Thank you, Marilda. Hello, Marilda. Nice to see you here as well. A lot of people are now joining in. So I will have to start wearing my mask when I go outside in a few days from now. Today is the 7th. So next Monday, so not tomorrow, but the following week, we will all have to start wearing face masks when we go outside, especially if we are in an enclosed area. An enclosed area. When we say enclosed, it means you are inside, maybe inside a room or inside a place where there is no daylight or no fresh air, maybe a shop or a shopping mall, or maybe at work, and this is the thing that I really think this is all about. So I think the reason why we are doing this is because of public transport. If you've ever tried getting around London on public transport, you will know that quite often it is quite crowded, very crowded, especially during the morning and the evening. So that is one of the reasons why they are now saying that people will have to start wearing face masks, because a lot of people are returning to work and they will also be using public transport as well. Hello, Yassir. Also we have Lepel. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I am Leo Penna from Brazil, which means the beautiful horizon. So apparently Belo Horizonte means nice horizon. Hello, Alessandra. Mr. Duncan, why don't you tell us some story from your life in China? Once you said that you could even write a book about that. Thank you, Alessandra. I did spend a long time in China. Now, one of the reasons why I don't mention my China experience very much is because some of you might be a little bored by listening to it or hearing me talk about my experience in China. So that's the reason why I don't really talk about it very much. But yes, there are so many things. Even now, can you believe it? Every day there is something that reminds me of my time in China. There is always something, maybe a small moment of time, a small event, something very innocent, maybe a brief moment of time, something I hear or see or smell, and suddenly I'm reminded of my time in China. So yes, I might do that. I don't want to talk too much about China because some people don't want to hear it, to be honest. They don't want to hear me talking endlessly about my time in China. Where is our proletarian Freemason, Mr. Steve? Yes, he's a bit like that, isn't he? In fact, can I just say, and this might sound as if I'm being biased, but I'm not. I'm not being biased at all. Steve has done an amazing job of the garden. He's done a fantastic job. I am very impressed. So you might be right. You might be right, Sergio. I think Steve could have another profession. I think so. I think you are right. I like that. It's a good idea. Masks are used everywhere nowadays. It's very strange. Here in the UK, the rules concerning wearing a mask are unclear, so they are not completely clear. Some people think you don't have to wear them. Some people think you have to wear them all the time. So from the 15th of June, if you go outside, if you are in a place where there are many people surrounding you, you have to wear one of these. And that's the reason why we've got some. In fact, Mr. Steve's company sent these. Now, I have a feeling, this is just a feeling that I have at the moment, I think they might be sending Mr. Steve outside to do some work in the real world instead of sitting in his office all the time. So that's what I think. So these actually came from Mr. Steve's company. We've got quite a few of them as well. So I think Steve might be going out and about in his job very soon. I will keep you informed on that. Talking of Mr. Steve, we have Steve with us in a few moments. He will be with us as well. Hello, TS. Hello also, Francesco. I am not biased. A person who is biased might show favoritism. So you might be biased towards a certain country or a certain person. You will not say anything bad about that person. You might not say anything that is critical of a certain place or person. Or maybe if you have a product that you are showing, maybe the product has been given to you for free. So maybe you are showing a new mobile phone or some new earbuds. And then you say, oh, these are great. Oh, this phone is amazing. It's fantastic. Oh, you must buy this phone. Well, you might say that that person is being biased because they have been given this phone by the company. So they are not going to say anything critical. They are not going to complain about the phone because they got it for free. And this happens quite a lot on YouTube. You will notice there are lots of people that review products like mobile phones or electrical devices, and quite often they get them for free. So they are given these things to try. So yes, being biased towards a certain person or a certain group. Of course, you can also be prejudiced, which is the opposite. So you lean towards favouring someone, but also you can lean towards being prejudicial, to have prejudice against one person or a group of people, perhaps. Hello also to Tamara. Hello, Tamara. Nice to see you here as well on the live stream. It is Sunday, it's English Addict, and I am Mr. Duncan. We are going to play a different game a little bit later on, something a little different, coming your way very soon. Mr. Steve will be joining us as well. Lots of things still to come right here on English Addict. Now we are going to take a look at Full English number 39. There are many video lessons on my YouTube channel, and this is one of them. An excerpt from one of my Full English lessons. And as I said, it is Full English number 39. Oh, hello there. Here we are again with another Full English lesson, coming to you from the birthplace of all these people. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of people. And of course, this is also the place where the English language was created. That is, of course, England. So many words, so many phrases. And I hear you ask, where is the best place to learn all of those words and phrases? Right here on my YouTube channel is my reply. So stand by, because another Full English lesson is going to start right now. often receive questions and comments from my students concerning the process of learning English, for which I'm always happy to receive and, where possible, answer. One such question concerns the action of repeating things during the learning process. A common criticism is the tediousness of repetition. The hard fact is that repeating things is a large part of learning anything, whatever it happens to be. The action of repeating something is there. A baby must learn to walk by trying the same action again and again. A learner driver must undergo many training hours before getting it right. This also involves a great deal of repetition. So what about English? Is it really necessary to keep repeating words and phrases over and over? The answer to that question is yes. The most obvious benefit of repeating things comes when you want to get a new word or phrase to stay in here. Repeating things again and again will literally create new stored information in your brain. Yes, it might seem boring, and yes, it will take time to accomplish, but in the long run you will learn to appreciate the power of repetition. Whilst we are on the subject of repeating things, it is also worth mentioning that you need to get into the habit of learning new words and phrases every day. Don't shy away from absorbing new information. The secret is not to push yourself too far. A little learned every day will lead to a lot gained each month. As I always say, the important rules of learning English rely on the most basic actions. Read, listen, repeat, learn. There it is again, that magic word. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Here is something I haven't talked about for a very long time. The subject of opposite words is both fascinating and quite often confusing. A good example is the opposite of bend. As a verb, the opposite word is in fact straighten. Then there is the action of clearing a misunderstanding, which is also straighten. You can straighten something out with another person. A conversation that allows those involved to better understand each other's feelings is to straighten things out. We need to talk about what happened last night and straighten things out. To distort or twist an event to make it seem different is to bend the truth. You can bend the rules, which means to do something illegal but not serious that goes against a law or set of instructions. You are not supposed to be in here, but I'm willing to bend the rules this time. As adjectives, bent and straight refer to being either good or bad. A bent person is one involved in criminal activity. A straight person is law-abiding and a good citizen. An object that has been distorted out of shape has been bent. The action of doing this is bend. A car accident can be described as a fender bender. This expresses the condition of a car after it has been damaged. Then, as I said at the start of this subject, we have the opposite of bend, which is straighten. To make something level or without distortion is to straighten. Are you still confused? I hope that I have been able to straighten out the confusion here, so you won't be bent double trying to understand it, as I always try my best to be straight with you. Well, it looks as if we have come to the end of another full English lesson, but wait there. Apparently, we still have a few moments left, so to fill that time, here is a short poem. Isn't it strange the way people change from day to day? Isn't it queer whenever you hear the silly things people say? Isn't it sad when you hear something bad, it makes you want to cry? But despite what you hear, one thing is quite clear, to keep you from going mad. Say to yourself, I am what I am, whatever they say or do. My life is mine, and whatever they say, I won't give a damn. Okay, that is definitely all we have time for today. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and activate the notifications bell so you won't miss another one of my English lessons, be they live or recorded. There is a saying in show business, never work with animals, children, or Mr. Steve. Oh, there you are. Hi everybody, welcome back. Yes, we are live once more. I hope you enjoyed one of the excerpts from one of my many English lessons that I've recorded over the past 14 years. I can't believe I've been doing it for nearly 14 years, but yes, it's true. Hi to the live chat. Yes, he is back. He's been so busy over the past few days, and yes, I was complimenting his hard work because he's done so much over the past few days. And he was busy in the garden this morning, very busy. He is a very busy chap. Here he comes, the man himself, back by popular demand. Please give a round of applause to Mr. Steve.
I didn't realise I'd still got that on. Mr. Duncan, hello.
Hello.
And hello.
Hello.
To everybody in the World Wide Web of English, as you say, Mr. Duncan. I'd forgotten I'd got my PPE on.
Yes.
We've been sent those by the company I work for so that when we eventually go to see customers, we can be safe, or at least safer.
Yes.
A little bit safer. But I don't think we're going out anytime soon. But I've got them ready and some hand gel just in case.
Well, I was interested, Steve, because I was talking about this a few moments ago. I was wondering if your company is preparing to send you back out.
Well, we will be eventually. So they're not putting any pressure on us to go out. They're saying, if a customer wants to see you and it's safe, then by all means go to see them. But they're not putting any pressure. We've got a head office as well, and they're not putting pressure on anybody to go there. I think they're restricting how many people go in any one day. And then they're doing like a deep clean.
Yes.
A deep clean on Wednesday or something. So they're following all the guidelines. But if you can work from home, they are still saying to us, then you should.
Yes.
So I can do a lot of my work from home. And nobody's asked me to go and see them. I can deal with their queries on the phone or through the internet.
Yep.
So I don't need to go yet.
No.
But I feel as though I will want to go, because if the company cotton on to the fact that customers actually don't need me anymore,
Yes.
then, down the line in the future,
Okay.
they may decide that they can pay me half the amount to sit at home and deal with my customers from home.
And I love the fact that you're giving this all away as well now.
Well, I'm sure that they have already thought of this.
Yes, well, they're definitely thinking about it now you've suggested it.
No, they will already have been... See, during this lockdown period, a lot of companies will be reassessing how they interact with their customers.
Yeah.
And do they need expensive sales forces?
Yes, anyway.
All sorts of things. So there'll be, because we are now able to connect with people in so many different ways that we've discovered that were always there, but we never really used them.
Yes.
And for example, sort of meetings, when we have meetings, then maybe we don't need to. The company don't need to spend money on a hotel and get everybody to travel there. They can just use Zoom and get everybody to interact in that way.
Well, let us not forget, I've been doing this for nearly 4 years, 4 years of live streams. So I've been doing live streams for nearly 4 years. So this is not a new thing as far as I'm concerned. I started it before all of you. I was here first. All of you Tom Hanks and you I can't think of a single celebrity. Oh my God. My brain just went completely blank. Tom Cruise and all of you, Lady Gaga and Elton John doing your live streams. I was doing this 4 years ago. Stop trying to steal my viewers.
But what's emerged over the last few months is this new technology, which was there but wasn't really being used, where you can have video conferencing with lots of people. And it all works seamlessly and works very well. So you can have, 100 people all with their little pictures on the screen. You can watch everybody and what they've got behind them and what their house is like and what they're wearing.
Yeah. Well, what I always wonder, Steve, is how small can those images become? So if you're talking to 500 people, all of those images will be just tiny. You would need maybe a magnifying glass to be able to see who is actually on your conference call. So maybe if you were in a big company with many people and you were trying to talk to all of them, I think it would be a little difficult, to be honest.
Well, you've got chat and questions.
Anyway.
All sorts of things. So yes, companies will be, I think, reassessing, if they're not already doing it, trying to cut back on costs by using video conferencing more. Now that it's been proven or proven, you can pronounce that word in 2 different ways. Yes, who knows what will happen in the future. So how are you, Mr. Duncan?
Who knows what will happen in the future? Now, there is a great question. Nobody knows.
I was talking specifically about video conferencing.
Who knows? Who knows what is going to happen? What a crazy old world we are living in right now. Who you couldn't make any of this up. I don't know about you, but I will be so glad when 2020 has come to an end. But by the way, Steve, we have the live chat.
I know. I'm trying to talk to you and to your viewers.
Okay.
And trying to look at the live chat at the same time. It's very difficult. Trying to multitask. But I haven't seen anything that takes my eye yet, apart from people saying hello to me. So thank you very much for that.
That's because you're so popular, you see. Now, Steve was in the garden earlier. You were doing a lot of stuff. We are going to have a little look at Steve. So this is what Steve was doing just around about an hour ago. Steve was in the garden. And there you can see, this is what Steve has been working on for the past few days. It's looking very nice. There's your wheel. There's your wheelbarrow and your broom. And where is Steve? Oh, there's Steve. Steve is rearranging and levelling the patio at the back of the house. Now, we counted all of those concrete slabs, and I think there are about 400.
400? There aren't. I don't think there's that many, Mr. Duncan.
200?
Well, I've actually moved. I've moved probably about 40.
Yes,
I would say 40 to between 40 and 45.
But in total.
In total, well, I can have a look.
No, don't do it now, Steve. I just don't want to hear you counting slabs live. Just that's it. I think there is about 200. So imagine the work that Steve has been doing, levelling, making sure that all of those those pieces of concrete are level, because over the years they've become a little unlevel. And Steve, I must admit, I am really impressed. I know I've said this before, but I'm really impressed by the work you've been doing out there in the back garden. It's incredible.
Well, Mr. Duncan, I've just done a rough count, and I think you're right. There are about 400.
Yes, because we counted them.
We did count them. There's a lot of. Luckily, they're not too big, and they're. Although it is my back, I'll tell you, Mr. Duncan, my back is aching.
Okay.
Because and trying to work out the best way of doing it because I didn't take them all up.
No. Just the ones that you had a problem with.
Just the ones that I had a problem with. So yes, hard work, and I'm trying. I've broken 2 of them.
Yes.
They're very fragile. You only have to. And what I'm trying to do there is make sure that they're level. Well, I'm actually trying to make sure that they point slightly towards that drain cover.
Yes. Oh, great. That's good.
Excuse me, because that's where I want the water to go, because it all drains across there and it's sloping towards the wheelbarrow and sloping towards that drain that you saw. But before, it had nowhere to go because around the drain cover there were the slabs were very high.
Yes.
So when it got there, the water couldn't go anywhere. So I've lowered them all around the drain cover because they were badly fitted.
Drainage.
So that all the water comes across the slabs and then goes into the drain instead of forming big puddles outside the patio window.
Yes.
So hopefully it's worked. We won't know until we have a downpour.
That's it. So the next time we get a lot of rain, we will find out how well Mr. Steve has performed his levelling of the patio in the back garden. And of course you haven't finished, because then you have to fill in all of the gaps as well.
The grouting, that's called grouting.
Yes. So you are going to fill the spaces.
I have to fill the spaces, otherwise they won't be stable and the water will get in between them, and then they'll start shifting and we'll get weeds growing. Somebody mentioned weeds.
Yes.
Have you got any weeds, says Corrie. Well, we do suffer from weeds, because what had happened over the years is that a lot of the grouting had come away.
Yes.
And the seeds get in and the weeds grow. So I have to regularly spray weed killer.
Yes.
But when all the concrete is in place, the grouting, then that should eliminate the problem of weeds.
Yes.
That's going to be a long job, Mr. Duncan, the grouting.
I think so. So that's basically filling in all of the gaps. So when Mr. Steve puts the concrete slabs down, there are little gaps all around. So now he has to go round and fill all of those gaps. And yes, I'm sure once we counted how many of those concrete pieces are in the back garden, and I think it's about 400.
You are right. But I of course, haven't had to shift all those.
No. Fortunately,
only the ones where the roses were, and only the ones that were really badly sunk. Some of them had even raised up.
Yes.
And when I took, some of them were higher, and when I took them out, there were big roots underneath from the trees that had pushed them up.
Yes.
And the grouting around the outside, there's a substance that we use, a building material that we use called mortar. Mortar. I think it's MORTAR. I think
it's the same thing you use when you are building a wall.
That's right. So it's cement and sand mixed with water, and then you push it into the spaces. It sets, stabilizes everything, and stops the weeds growing.
It's a lot finer than cement. It's a lot finer.
That's right. It's mortar, which is sand, fine sand mixed with cement.
So not the other mortar, which is the bomb that flies through the sky.
That one.
That's not that one.
So yes, thanks. What did Sergio said? Tomek said, what a tiny spirit level.
You have got a small one.
You're right. I need one of those long ones, really.
Yes.
So what I've been... But I didn't go out and buy myself a big one. So I've been using a long piece of wood. And I've been putting the spirit level on top of that when sometimes you want to look at individual slabs, other times you want to look at what the level is over a larger space. Yes. So I use a piece of wood spread across it.
Welcome
and then
to
put the spirit level on top.
If you just tuned in, welcome to an hour of talking about slabs. Concrete slabs with Mr. Steve and Mr. Duncan. But no, it's looking good anyway. I know it's a long project, but it's coming together very, very slowly. And let us also not forget Mr. Steve's grass as well. So we have Steve's wonderful grass, which is growing.
Mr. Duncan.
Look at that. Wow. Oh, Steve, look at that. Your lovely green grass planted from seed by Mr. Steve. Isn't that amazing? You literally, I think it's safe to say, Steve, you literally have green fingers. Or as they say in America, green thumb.
I've got to cut that. It's too long. You reminded me, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
I'll tell you something.
Yes.
I'm developing muscles. My upper body feels really firm because I'm lifting those slabs up, and I'm almost ripping this shirt open, Mr. Duncan.
Like the Incredible Hulk.
Like the Incredible Hulk. If I was to strain my muscles, I think this would rip open to reveal wonderful muscles, Mr.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe not.
Yes.
It does feel sort of tight on me. Yes, I feel sort of ripped.
Okay.
I'm like a gym bud.
Okay.
Ripped. If you say you're ripped, then it means you've got lots of muscles that stand out.
Well, you are muscular.
Muscular, ripped. You've got very lean muscles that stand out in your clothing.
You are a hunk.
I could never be described as a hunk, nor could you, Mr. Duncan.
I would never be so foolish to describe myself as a hunk. I know I'm not a hunk.
What is a hunk? What characteristics do you need to be classed as a hunk?
Well, I would say the opposite of this. Whatever this is, now, the opposite of this is a hunk. Maybe George Clooney or Tom Selleck.
Yeah, somebody who is tall. I think you've got to be tall. A hunk is a man, isn't it?
Well, yes.
Is a very attractive, sexy man.
Who wants a hunky woman?
Nobody. So you've got to be tall, probably 6 foot would be ideal, 5'11", 6 foot. You've got to have the well-proportioned body, wide shoulders, big muscles, quite a firm, strong jaw. What about hair, of course. You've got to have hair.
Where?
On your head.
Oh, okay.
You can't be a hunk if you're bald. I think that pretty much rules me out straight away.
I have to say, I think Dwayne Johnson would disagree with you.
Yes, well, yes, I suppose so. Maybe. But usually... yes, they're heartthrobs, aren't they? But they're...
I was taking a chance there by saying Dwayne Johnson because I wasn't sure if you knew who he was.
No, I don't.
Oh, I see. You act as if you did know, but he's an action movie star who used to be a wrestler. So his name, when he was throwing other men around in the ring. You know, I always think there's something very strangely homoerotic about wrestling. You've got these big, huge men covered in oil, wearing lycra, and then they're rolling around on top of each other and throwing each other around a small area. And yet there they are having all of this body contact, slipping and sliding on top of each other. And yet it's one of the most macho things you can do. Isn't that weird?
They're not usually very attractive. All the cows have come over, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, okay. Talking of large beasts.
that scared. There was a squirrel
Okay.
on the lawn, and the cows came up, and this squirrel shot off faster than I've seen. So you see, I wanted to go outside. I want to go outside and feed the cows now, but I'm on this live stream, so I can't.
Yes. Well, unfortunately,
Waiting
yeah,
to see
okay.
if we're there.
Okay, then, Steve. This is so. There was Steve describing what's outside the window, talking about slabs and watching grass grow. This is great. We're doing well today, aren't we? And in a few days from now, just over a week from now, Steve, we have to wear face masks. I can't believe it. We are going to play a game, by the way, Steve. A wonderful game. Do you feel like playing a game?
I do.
Ooh, it's just as
I'm
well.
in a mood for a game.
Yes. English with akshat says The Rock. Yes, his name was The Rock, or is The Rock. However, he doesn't do wrestling anymore. He appears in terrible remakes of classic 80s movies like Jumanji and all the others. So I'm not a big fan of The Rock, as you know. I have expressed my disinterest in any movie that stars Dwayne Johnson. It's true. It's true. I make no secret of it. Oh, that's it. The sun's come out. Steve was slowly disappearing. I noticed on your camera you were slowly vanishing into darkness, but now you're back. That's nice. I can see your pert lips and your big round nose and your blue eyes. Well, some people say your eyes are blue, Steve, but I think they're grey.
Thanks.
Steely grey.
Yes. Oh, well, Mr. Duncan, what is this game?
Ooh, there is a game, and it is not the sentence game today. We are doing something slightly different.
Not
Today,
the sentence game.
Not the sentence game. No, it's something else, Steve. Are you surprised?
Well, I was looking forward to the sentence game.
It is called the what, where game.
Oh, something new?
So it's a little bit like the sentence game, but what I want you to do is not fill in the blanks or complete the sentence. What I want you to do is to come up with your own sentences completely. So I'm going to show some items on the screen. So that's the game. I'm going to show some items. Maybe they are things that are useful. Maybe they are things you can use in your everyday life. I want you to tell me what they are, what each item is, but also I want you to say what you use it for. Its use, its purpose. The purpose of something is what it is used for. Even people like us, Mr. Steve, even we have a purpose, don't we?
Well, you have a purpose, Mr. Duncan. And that purpose is to teach the world English.
I'm still trying to find my purpose.
That is your purpose in life.
Hey, another thing I wanted to mention, Steve. If you could have one wish, what would it be?
Well, that's something you probably shouldn't reveal.
Not world peace. Because we're not getting that soon.
I don't think I want to share that, Mr. Duncan. I'd have to think about it because there are lots of things that I might want to wish for.
I'm not asking to see your underwear. All I want to do is just a wish, just a simple wish. The first thing that comes into your head.
That you, Mr. Duncan, will become the world's leading English teacher on YouTube and will have 100 million subscribers.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think my lifespan is long enough for me to reach 100 million subscribers.
That is my wish.
It might not be long enough to reach 1 million, to be honest with you, to be completely honest. So, yes, a lovely wish. What about out there in YouTube land? What about out there watching now on the www? What do you think? What is your wish? One wish. If a little fairy came down and said, "Hello, I'm a little fairy. I'm going to let you have one wish. What would it be?" if you had one wish, what would it be? Come on, let's hear your wishes. We'll do this for a few moments, and then we've got the what where game. Wow, it's going to be amazing. I think this is going to be the big craze sweeping the world. It will take over from planking. It really will.
Planking.
One word, one wish. If you have a wish, I'm granting you one wish, not 3. Don't be greedy. Just 1. If you had one wish, what would it be? English with akshat is very clever, because the one wish would be for 1,000 more wishes. I like that. You see,
that's a good one.
I like that one. Yes, but there might be a caveat. You see, I mentioned that word earlier, Steve. Caveat. It's a great word, isn't it? So if you're going to make a deal or agree to something, quite often there will be a condition or something you have to observe, or maybe something you will have to follow, a certain rule that will be added to the deal. We call it a caveat. So maybe there will be a caveat to your wish. So you can't wish for more wishes. So that is one of the caveats, you see, because the fairy is really awkward and annoying. However, you can just have one wish, but you can't wish for more wishes, really. So that is the agreement, you see. The fairy agreement.
That's the caveat, the condition.
So all the fairies get together and they come up with an agreement that you can only have one wish and you can't wish for more wishes.
Well, Diana Romano, I'd like to win a trip around the world.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that would be very nice.
Yes, one wish. Something for yourself, something that you might want to give to someone else. So maybe world peace. That is the one that most people say. Although, as I mentioned a few moments ago, I think we are a long way from world peace. I think we still have a little way to go before human beings start being nice to each other 100%, to be honest.
Cap Devi 2 wants Superman powers.
Ooh, superpowers.
Yes, good one.
Yes. But what if you could only have one superpower? What would it be? You see how interesting this has become. So not only one wish, but if you could wish for one superpower, what would it be? Steve, what about yours? Maybe the power to grow hair.
A superpower? I think it would be that I could fly.
Okay.
I think flying, that's a good one.
When would you do that? Would you do it during the day or night?
All the time, whenever I felt like it.
All the time. You'd just be flying around in the sky all the time. Well, I suppose it makes a change from a drone, because you can have drones flying around. Imagine that, seeing Mr. Steve flying over your house in the middle of the night. What can you say? Tamara, Mr. Steve, I agree with your wish. Mr. Duncan would arrive to 1 million subscribers. I don't know about that. I think I'm still 100,000 and 100,200.
What level are you at the moment? How many subscribers do you have?
I think I've got about 800,000, and I think it's about something else, 200.
850,000, something like that?
Yes, around 850. Yes, I think it is 853,000 at the moment. So, yes.
Oh, so you need 150,000 subscribers.
That's a lot of subscribers that I've got to get.
But that's not many. You want to aim for higher than that. I can see that that's easily achievable. That wouldn't really be a wish, because I think you're going to get to 1 million subscribers. I didn't know you were already on 850,000.
I've got 853,000 subscribers, but only 63 people watching. I don't know how that works. That's not a good percentage, is it?
Well, yeah, so 1 million, that's not much of an ambition, because you're nearly there, really. So I think 100 million subscribers
Okay, then.
is a target for you to go for.
Okay.
Oh, what the hell? A billion.
Apparently, yes, I have 853,000 subscribers. I don't normally talk about this subject because to me, nowadays, I don't think subscribers mean anything to anyone because the number seems to be irrelevant. Because I've seen people who have maybe 3 or 4 million subscribers, but their videos only get maybe 100,000 views. So that is a very small percentage of 2 or 3 million people.
So maybe we should wish for you to get more viewers rather than subscribers.
I don't know.
And I'd like to see 1,000 people on the live stream.
I might go outside into the streets, and I think I would just sit in the street with a big sign above my head, just saying, please watch my YouTube channel. Please. Please.
Corey wants to be a bird
Oh,
to enjoy nature.
that's good. I would like to be a seagull. Then I can fly around and poo on people's heads.
Lovely. I think if you're going to be a bird, you want to have some of the superpower so that you're not eaten by a predator. Just being a bird's going to make you a bit vulnerable. Somebody said, that's a lot of honesty, Mr. Steve. I don't remember what that was referring to.
No, me neither.
Sujin wants more muscle. Sidra wants to learn English. Well, you're doing that, so your wish has come true. Sujin wants more. Well, I'll tell you, if you want more muscle, Sujin, then start laying slabs.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you, I'm building muscle through doing this work outside. And I've never had it before. So, yes, so that's it. Start. Somebody's donated you some money, Mr. Duncan.
That will be. Is that our friend Cap Devi?
Yes.
Thank you, Cap Devi, for your lovely donation there. I will put that towards Mr. Steve's replacement spine.
Thank you.
When his backbone has disintegrated to dust, I will buy Mr. Steve a plastic backbone that he can use, or maybe a couple of walking sticks. Thank you, Cap Devi. That's very kind of you. So, yes, there is Steve again. I showed this earlier, but there it is again. Steve was laying his slabs. What about a wish? Mohen or Mosen asks, my wish is I can speak English very perfect. I can speak perfect English. That's a good one. I like that one. Flower says, yes, the problem is not all of the subscribers, but they don't hit the thumbs up or to spread the live stream of Mr. Duncan. Please let's encourage him more. Well, I suppose so. I'm thinking of going into town, Steve, walking around with a big card above my head and just saying, please watch my YouTube live streams. A bit of advertising.
Well, maybe Much Wenlock isn't the ideal place to advertise.
It might not be.
No, you want to advertise in a country where lots of people want to learn English.
We have Maria. I'm saying hello to Maria. I wish.
Malira Nazrat said, if you want more subscribers, you should put some short videos in Facebook.
Facebook. I don't think Facebook is a good place. Facebook is not a good place for that. Facebook still has a very long way to go. I've always thought of live streaming on Facebook, but their live streaming quality is so poor. It is really bad. It is very unstable. That's the reason why, one of the main reasons why I still use YouTube. Maria.
Yes.
Oh, I like Maria. I wish my husband would give up working and stop waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yes, there's nothing worse than being disturbed in your bed. You are trying to sleep, and maybe your husband has to get up for work. Perhaps his alarm clock starts beeping. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. And he
Some
gets out
people-
of bed and wakes you up as well at the same time.
Some people do have to get up very early for work,
It's true.
particularly if you're in the building trade. You have to get up very early because you have to drive somewhere to get onto the site. You might have to get materials beforehand. I've always noticed that with builders, that they have to get up very early.
Andy wants to come to Great Britain. He wants to visit maybe England, perhaps. So Andy Starr wants to come to the UK, Great Britain, or maybe England, which is part of Great Britain or part of the United Kingdom.
The only problem at the moment is that we are going to apparently force people to self-isolate for 14 days
Yes.
if they come from another country. So you might find that I would wait until maybe next year.
Yes,
would
I
be
think
my advice, just
Yes.
in case you don't want to have to travel here and then spend 14 days locked up in a hotel room.
I think one of the most off-putting things. So it's not going to encourage people to come here if then you have to lock yourself away for 2 weeks, because maybe your holiday is only 2 weeks. so you're not going to come here for a 2-week holiday and then have to spend 2 weeks in isolation, wearing your face mask and your rubber gloves.
Flower also wants to make a tour around the world. That's been the most popular one, you know. There's been at least 3 people who have said that their wish is to go on a worldwide tour. So that's quite a popular one. Saturino says, "Do I put cement under the tiles?" Yeah, well, I have under some of them, but the ground here is very thick, heavy clay. So I've been pounding it down, and it's a very solid base. So I haven't put cement underneath. If I'd just had sand, I would have put cement as well. But I've just laid it onto the bare earth, and only time will tell if I've been successful.
Yeah, the ground here is very firm. I think that's a good word to use, firm. So it doesn't move easily because it's quite solid. It's made of, most of it is clay. Very unusual, actually. Mr. Bruno says, "I like the idea of doing short video clips on Facebook. It is a good idea, but Facebook has become a very strange beast over the past couple of years with the way content is passed around. I would say between Facebook and YouTube, I would still say that YouTube is a much easier way of getting your message around than Facebook. So there are a lot of limitations now on Facebook for various reasons, which I'm not going to go into at this moment.
But could you just put them on anyway, anything, and just see? Don't make anything specific. Just use some of your lessons and just put them on Facebook anyway.
Well, I suppose, yes, like an advert or
Yes.
promotion, maybe. But again, it's just getting it passed around Facebook, because there are lots of algorithms now that work on Facebook in the same way as they work here on YouTube. So it can be a little difficult. Anyway, Steve, we are coming up to 3:25 already. Time is going by so quickly. Here we are, some lovely items, some things. We are going to play again. We don't have any music for this, by the way, unfortunately. Maybe I could create some music. It is the what, where game. It's the what, where game. Some people say it's a pain. It's the what, where game.
Well,
I just made that up
you
out
did.
of my brain. That came out of my brain, that did.
Remind us what the game is again, Mr. Duncan.
The game is, I'm going to show you an item, an object, something you might use every day, something you might see around you in your day-to-day life on this planet, or what's left of it. And here is the first object. So as I do it, I think it will become obvious what we have to do. So here is the first object. I will show you the object. It's going to appear on the screen. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see Mr. Steve or myself. We will be obscured by it.
Obscured.
So here is the first object. Please reveal the first object for today's Whatware game. Oh, okay. So there it is, Steve. You can see it.
A ladder.
Oh, fuck.
Mr. Duncan, come back.
What's the game called, Steve?
The what, where game.
Okay, so what refers to what it is. What is it?
Okay.
So,
There was a pause, and I thought, well, I'll say something.
yes, you did, but I did explain the rules. I was talking.
You've got to give me the information before we go live, Mr. Duncan, so that I
Okay.
know what to expect.
But I was saying it about 35 seconds ago.
Yes, people are saying it's a ladder.
Yes. Well, they are now. They're just repeating what you said.
Yes.
I
Yes.
still can't believe that just happened.
Maybe I'll just step outside.
Mate, I think the cows are waiting for you, Steve.
They've gone.
I think they need milking. So
I've made Flower laugh anyway.
that's brilliant. What is it? What's the object? What is it? So I'm not going to say what it is. And then the first thing Steve does is say the object, what it is.
I'll zip it, Mr. Duncan. I'll
Yes.
keep my mouth shut. So have we got to say, where is it?
Well, the what is the object, the name of the object. This is really a bad idea. I think I might just show you some excerpts from one of my lessons.
What does the where mean?
So, well, the where is where will you find it or where will you use it? And we also have what is it used for? So I want you to explain how these things are used. And the reason why I'm doing this is because for those who are taking IELTS or one of their English tests, you will find sometimes you have to describe something you see. So this is actually very helpful to those who want to improve their way of describing things. So this is important. It might seem like a simple thing, but I can tell you now, it is not. When you are sitting down with your examiner and he's giving you the questions and asking you to look at things and describe them, you have to be able to do that, you see. So this is, as Mr. Steve helpfully, very helpfully told us.
Well, I'm learning, just like everybody else.
I am definitely feeling that.
There are quite a few comments referring to the fact that I revealed the name of the object straight away.
That was absolutely brilliant.
Well, now that I know,
Yes.
I will keep my mouth shut.
Okay. So even though I told you the rules twice, anyway.
Palmyra's son's been off to the shops for a ladder today.
Oh, how strange.
What a coincidence.
A big coincidence. Be careful. Be careful, because some ladders are very high. Some are really high, but some of them aren't very high. And you can just stand on top of them quite easily. But many ladders, like the one you can see here, that one, that's very, very tall.
Well, that's a particular type of ladder, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's a ladder, but it's also something else. It's a ladder that's got a special name. What type of a ladder is it?
Yes.
That would be good if someone could give the answer to that question. Yes, we know it's a ladder because I told you.
Yes. Thanks, Steve.
Inadvertently, without thinking. But what type of a ladder is it?
Okay, we have quite a few answers. We have Palmyra says, oh, you can use the ladder to get to your damsons or to get up into your damson tree. I think so, yes. So there's a great description there. Richard says, this is a ladder. I have one behind a door, and I use it to reach things. So yes, a ladder can be used for you to climb up and to reach things. If you are very short, if you are not very tall, like some people I know, then you will need a ladder quite often. Last week in the supermarket, by the way, a lady, an elderly lady, she was quite short and she couldn't reach the top shelf, Steve.
Yes.
She couldn't reach the shelf. So she asked me to pick some of the things off the top shelf because she recognised the fact that I was very tall, and like a big giant walking around. Boom, boom, boom. So she said, would you mind helping me? I can't reach the things at the top of the shelf. So I reached up and took them off and put them in her basket. And then I went outside and I sprayed myself with disinfectant.
You're like a human ladder, Mr. Duncan.
It's true. I'm like one of those machines that you see on a building site that are moving things around. All you need is me standing there moving everything around like that. So a ladder, yes, a flower. A ladder is used to climb a tree, to get fruit, or to get to the fruit. So you try to get to something. You are trying to reach something. 2 Jenny says, can you see it, Steve?
Well, I was just going to comment on Mr. Bruno.
Okay.
Because Mr. Bruno's left a little donation for you and thanking me for my help.
Oh, I see.
So I don't know whether... Yes, so thank you very much. Even though I gave the answer away far too quickly. But thank you very much, Mr. Bruno. Made of aluminium. Yes, an extending ladder is the correct answer to the type of ladder that is.
Yes.
Jay Suk Lee has got that right. An extending ladder. Somebody put a step ladder. A step ladder is a ladder like that.
Yes. It normally has 2 sets of ladders on either side. So it has one set on one side and one on the other. It almost looks like a big triangle. That's
it. It just opens out and it doesn't go very high, just used around the house.
Yes.
This is, you would call it, Tomek said a sliding ladder. Yes, it does slide, but the correct name would be an extending ladder,
yes.
Or extendable.
Yes, so you can extend something. You can make it longer. So if you only want to go up a short distance or a short height, you can keep it closed. If you want to go very high up, you can extend the ladder. We have one of those as well, don't we, Steve?
We do.
Although we are both too afraid to go to the top of the ladder.
I don't like going up ladders.
It's too high.
And they are made of aluminium. Sasuke 1022. Yes, so they're lightweight. They used to be made of wood. But of course, these days, they're made of aluminium. Yes, I don't have a ladder, says Sujin. I sometimes use a chair. I change the bulb using the chair.
Ah, yes. It is quite a common occurrence in the house when you have to do something very quickly. However, it isn't the safest thing. I have tried doing that in the past, Steve, and I've actually fallen off the chair or the table. I once did something very stupid. I tried to climb on top of an office chair. You know that the chair that swivels around?
Oh, yes.
It turns around. Have you ever tried standing on top of an office chair?
I have.
And you just turn around like that. It's very hard to do. So I don't advise anyone, if you want to stand on a chair, do not stand on an office chair because it's not very good.
Of course, that big extending ladder that you've shown, you wouldn't tend to use that inside the house. That's a bit big. But you can get small little step ladders that you could use in the house. And I think we ought to get one, Mr. Duncan, because you do have to change bulbs.
Yes.
And we often stand on a chair, and the chair's on the carpet, and it's all a bit wobbly. And I mean, I know someone, my mother's got a friend, and she wanted to. What did she want to do? She wanted to get. I think it was a moth that was on her curtain, and she stood on a chair to try and catch this moth, and she fell off and was in hospital for weeks. Broke her arm or something.
This is the problem.
You can have lots of accidents around the house if you don't take precautions. Folding ladder. No, that's not a folding ladder. It's an extending ladder or an extendable ladder.
That's it. So you can adjust the length of the ladder. That's pretty good. Yes, I think we've already got the idea of what this is about, you see. So the ladder is a useful item for climbing or reaching high places. So if someone asked you to describe the object, you would say, yes, that is a ladder. It is often used for climbing up the side of buildings, or if you want to reach something that is high up, you will use a ladder. Quite often you will find a ladder in the garage. So a lot of people keep their ladder in the garage, don't they? Or maybe somewhere safe, because you don't want to leave your ladder out in the open, because someone might use it to break into your house. So you have to be careful sometimes.
Well, Palmyra, one of her students, fell off a ladder last week and broke his arm.
Oh dear.
And now he has problem with online teaching. Yes. Every year there are many people who die doing DIY, do-it-yourself jobs around the house, particularly climbing on the roof, and they go up the ladder, they don't secure it, because when you notice if anyone's up a ladder who's a professional, maybe they're a roofer, somebody who repairs roofs, they will always have somebody at the bottom of the ladder holding the ladder for them. And you used to work in the building trade, didn't you, Mr. Duncan?
Many years ago, and I used to climb up ladders. But of course, if you are professional builders will often use professional ladders, which have lots of other things attached to them, so to make it safe. But yes, you are right, Steve. A lot of people every year injure themselves or even die from falling from a ladder.
If you've got anything wrong with your roof, unless you're very good... In fact, a friend of mine told me the other day that they looked across the street from their bedroom window and saw the neighbour on the roof of their house using a sprayer to get the moss off the roof.
Wow.
And they thought any minute now he's going to fall off because he didn't apparently, but that would have been potentially a very dangerous thing to do. But yes, an extendable ladder, that particular one used by, I would say, builders, but you might have one yourself. But I don't like going up ladders. You're better up ladders than I am, Mr. Duncan.
That's true. I am a little bit better. Anyway, we've done the ladder.
Right, on to the next.
We will take the ladder down. So let me just remove this ladder. We have finished with the ladder. We will now take the ladder down. There it goes.
Bye-bye, ladder.
Bye-bye, ladder. See you soon. When Mr. Steve has to get something off the top shelf in the kitchen.
I won't be using that. Oh, my back's aching, Mr. Duncan.
The what? Where you're sitting down?
I know. Well, it's because I've been, working hard outside, lifting up slabs. A few people have said you don't put any concrete under your slabs. No, I'm hoping it'll be all right. We'll have to wait and see.
Yes, we will see what happens. It might all sink into the ground. We might wake up one morning and find a huge sinkhole in the back garden. And when we look into it, we can see Australia. I think so. So here's the next object. This is something that you might also describe as dangerous, Steve. Now, please don't say what it is. Steve. Don't say what it is. I'm
I
going
do
to
know
show
who
it.
you are, VTAS, by the way. I think I said something by mistake, but
Did you?
I don't know. VTAS says, "Don't you know my name? You called me someone." Probably it's very difficult to read the live chat because it's very small. I've only got it on a little screen like this, and apologies if I make mistakes with people's names sometimes.
Yes. You should apologise.
I actually need a magnifying glass to be able to see this live chat.
I know. I want a written apology. I want you to go out into the street now and apologise to everyone.
There we go. I'm reading the live chat on this very small device, and it's a distance away from me, so sometimes I can't read correctly what people are saying.
It's my old Samsung phone.
I want a nice big screen, Mr. Duncan. I used to have one.
Yes. Maybe that could be your wish. Maybe instead of wishing for something silly like flying, you could wish for a big screen so you can look at the live chat and not call everyone someone. Like even his own family, though, don't worry about it. He even calls his own family someone. There was someone on the phone last night, a lady. She sounded very familiar, and I say, "Steve, that was your mother."
Anyway, Mr. Duncan, the next word.
Here's the next one. Don't say it, Steve. I feel as if I have to keep saying, "Don't say it." If only Steve could do that all the time. If only. That might be my wish. Are you ready, Steve?
I'm ready to say nothing.
That's a big one. Look at the size of that, Steve. It's quite big, isn't it?
That's got at least two names.
Is yours as big as that?
Two names. We will accept two different names.
The problem
For
is,
this object.
the problem is, Steve, here is the problem. We have about a 30 or maybe about 1 minute. There is a 1 minute delay. So that's why when I show something, it takes me a while to actually start answering the questions or looking at the answers.
Well, it's up there already, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, great. Thank you, Palmyra. Palmyra has axe.
She was quick with her typing. Yes, it's an axe.
Yes. Also, English with akshat also says axe as well. An axe. It's a great word, that. I'll put it on the screen for those who can't see the subtitles. There it is. Axe. Axe. It's an unusual word, isn't it, Steve? Because it looks as if it looks like part of a word, but not a complete word. So it's a very strange word. I always think this is one of the weirdest words to look at because it doesn't look like a real word. It looks like part of a word.
And Mary Glue has said yes. It's an axe. It's used to chop wood.
Mm.
And
The axe.
Tomek said that as well.
Mm.
Chop. Now there's a clue as to the other name that you could use to describe this object. Axe is probably the most familiar name, but you can call it by another name.
Mm. You can also call an electric guitar an axe as well.
I didn't know that, Mr. Duncan.
Yes. An electric guitar can be called an axe because it looks as if you can hold it and chop things with it. In fact, in the 1970s, a lot of rock stars used to smash their guitars on the stage. What a waste of guitars.
Quite a few people have said that another name for it is hatchet.
Yes, very good. Hatchet. Yes, a hatchet. Isn't a hatchet normally smaller?
I think so.
Yes, a hatchet is normally something it looks like an axe. It looks like that, but quite often it's smaller. But this is a big tool. But what's the other word you can use? There is another word you can use besides axe.
English with ascat has come close to it. Chopping machine.
A chopping machine. Well, maybe, but you were half right. You were half right. Sergio says it reminds me of The Shining. Ah, yes. That famous Stanley Kubrick film with Jack Nicholson. Hi there. Hi, my name is Jack Nicholson, and I'm going to run around an abandoned hotel, and I'm going to try and catch that lady with my big axe.
Rosa says I don't have enough illumination.
Here's Johnny. Did you enjoy that? I actually relived a moment from a classic movie there. That might be a new feature. We could do that every week. Mr. Duncan relives a classic moment from a movie.
Chopper, yes, Tomek.
Sorry? What did you say, Steve?
Tomek has got the name, the other name that we can use instead of axe. A chopper.
Ooh.
Well done.
We only get 2 of those. There is a rule on YouTube. You can only say that word twice. You can't say it again because then they will block you. And they will come round to your house and they will cut all of the wires that go into your house to make sure that you can't broadcast on YouTube ever again. Yes, axe. You can use an axe. There it is. There it is. Axe. Or you can say chopper. A big chopper.
A chopper.
And what do you use it for, Steve?
A lot of people have already made the correct description. Used for chopping wood. Chopping down trees. You could chop down a tree with it, although these days you would probably use an electric tool for that. You'd use a what, Mr. Duncan?
There it goes. It's going to fall, Steve. I'm going to chop this tree. In fact, just one more, and that should do it. Oh,
yes,
sorry.
you wouldn't tend. I mean, some people, traditionalists might use an axe to chop down a tree. You'd need probably a bigger axe than that. But that would be used mainly for, because you'd use what would you use? What's that with a chain? A chain. You'd use a chainsaw these days to cut a tree down because it's a lot quicker. And ones that are used to chop big trees down are huge, aren't they? They've got great big long handles on them.
Well, you can get those. You can get. Well, also you can use a normal saw as well. But normally one person will stand at either end.
That's it.
They're very long saws, and there are 2 people at either end. But we are not talking about saws. We are talking about an axe.
An axe. So that would be commonly used to split up logs. So if you've got some logs, big logs for your fire, you would put those logs on a big wooden block, and you would use the axe to split the logs into a size that you could then use to put on your fireplace or in your wood burner. So people would typically use an axe for chopping up wood. Probably not for chopping down a tree, because people tend to use chainsaws for that now. And as you can see, there's some writing on that, on the handle, on the handle of that axe, and it says genuine hickory. Hickory.
Hickory is a type of wood.
Hickory is a type of wood which is commonly used in an axe because it's very, very strong wood. So it won't. You obviously want the handle to be very strong because you don't want that to break. You don't want the. Would you call that the blade? What do you call the metal bit? There is a name for the metal bit.
I think they call it the head. An axe head.
Axe head. That's right. Yes, the axe head.
Yes.
So that's the handle.
Or maybe block as well. I'm sure they call it block as well.
Yes, or the axe head. So certainly you're right there.
Axe head.
Splitting, yes, a lot of people have said that. Mohammed has said splitting, chopping, cutting.
Yes.
For splitting wood.
Splitting something with a chopper.
Chopping Steve. People keep saying.
It does look like that weather. Yes, if I
Oh yes, I see.
Yes, it looks like it's going to chop you. Wait there. Let's see if we can chop Mr. Steve up.
Oh, Mr. Duncan. Oh, I've got blood now. Oh, it's that side. Oh, Mr. Duncan. You had that planned all along, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't plan that all along. I just did it. You know, I don't plan any of this. You know that, Steve.
I was joking, Mr. Duncan.
I never plan any of this.
I'll have to beware. I don't want you chasing after me with your chopper, Mr. Duncan.
No, it's been a long time since that's happened.
See, ought we to explain what... No. Okay. The word chopper can also be used to describe...
Yes, a part of the male body.
Yes.
Yes.
Get your chopper out.
Yes.
It's often used...
Look at the size of that chopper. The chopper has been revealed, and now he's going to use it to cut down the tree. You see? Yeah, you shouldn't have such a dirty mind. He's going to use the chopper to cut down the tree. Of course.
Well done to everybody. Wear a helmet. Yes, I would do if I could.
Another one. Shall we move on? Because I think we may have offended every person on the planet. So here's another one. I don't know why Mr. Steve's camera is so high up. Let me just adjust. I'm going to adjust Mr. Steve's camera.
No, you don't have to.
No, it's annoying me.
A few people said I hadn't got enough light.
Yes, I know. I don't actually understand how that's actually working. I don't know. I just don't know, you see.
Open the aperture, Mr. Duncan.
It's not the aperture. It's the position, you see. It's just annoying me. You know me.
Do you want me to sink down a bit? There we go.
Better. Oh, no, it's okay. I'm doing it. I have the...
Well, I can do it, you see. It's easier.
Better. I've got the controls. There we go. That looks better. Yes, that's better. We are even now. I like that. So here's another one. Another everyday item. I hope you're enjoying this. If you don't like it, please tell me. If you think this stinks, if you think this is just a big pile of rubbish and we should just do something else, please let me know.
Corey J suddenly quickly, Mr. Duncan, has said that an axe is often used to decapitate somebody.
Yes.
You can, yes, in the Tower of London or anywhere. Yes, you can.
Not now.
Not now. Yes.
No, we don't. Can I just point out we don't chop people's heads off anymore in London. It doesn't happen.
Don't we?
So in the Tower of London, many years ago, we used to have beheadings. It was a way of executing people many years ago. Wow. Was it the 1970s, wasn't it? No.
5 minutes to go, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, don't worry, Steve.
And I'm hungry.
Here's another one. By the way, there is a use of axe if you cancel something.
Oh, yes.
Or stop something from happening. You axe the thing. You axe. So you can use the word axe as an idiom to stop something. You axe something. You discontinue something. Maybe your favourite TV show has been axed.
Stopped. And yes, if you describe something that's stopping that's been axed, that it's a sudden thing, isn't it? And it's something that is maybe a bit controversial.
Yes.
As you say, a television show has been axed.
Yes.
Maybe because the viewership wasn't high enough,
yes,
or something controversial happened.
I'm just thinking of one particular show that might be axed soon. Can you think, Steve?
A television show?
No, a certain show, a certain internet-based program.
No, you're not going to get the... Well, you could get the chop. There's another similar word. If somebody gets the chop,
yes,
it means that they've lost their job.
Okay,
doesn't it? They've had the chop.
They've had the axe. They've had the chop. They have been dismissed, or something has been cancelled. Here's another one, Steve. I'm sure you can't wait. I bet you can't wait to see what this is. Here it is. Don't say anything. You were about to say it then, weren't you?
No.
Come on, Steve, tell me. Tell the truth.
I'll take a drink and I won't say anything.
You were about to say what that is. I will move it slightly down on the screen so it is in a slightly different place. There we go. That's a bit better now. That's better. It's not in the way of Mr. Steve's beautiful face. He's like some sort of matinee idol from the 1940s. I'm trying to think of one. Walter Pidgeon. Can you believe there used to be an actor called Walter Pidgeon? What a name. He actually kept his real name. His second name was Pidgeon. And yet he was very famous and a good actor, but his name was Walter Pidgeon.
Well, Tomek was first with his fingers on the typing, and he's called it correctly. A lot of people have English with Aksat, who always puts at least 3 or 4 attempts, which is great.
Yes.
Jamila.
I've never seen my live chat move so quickly. It's just blur.
Twetank Sharma.
Blur. It's going so quickly, so fast. So yes, we have, the word is, bidding. It's rope. Rope. Yes, rope, something you use quite often. I know that you might be thinking, Mr. Duncan, that is such a simple word. But the word rope is quite interesting because it can also be used in more than one way. But what would you use rope for? Rope. It looks like a very simple, basic thing.
Mary Glue has been the first to describe what it's used for.
Mm.
Used to tie things.
Yes. So you tie things up or you secure things. For example, Diana Romano says this is a rope and it is used for keeping boats safe in a harbour. So you might tie a piece of rope around the boat or around part of the boat, and then you will tie the other part to something that is on the land. So it is a very good way of securing something. You use rope to secure something. I love that word, by the way. Secure. Secure.
To pull something.
Ah, yes.
It has Shwetank Sharma has said you can use it rope to pull cart by the horse, for example, but yes, use it to pull things.
Yes. So you might have something that is stuck in the ground. So you might tie a piece of rope to it. And maybe the other end of the rope you might tie to the back of your car. And then you will slowly move your car away and it will pull that heavy thing out of the ground. So rope is really useful. Also, if you want to keep lots of things together, you want to have lots of things together, you can use rope to gather things together, and then you will tie the rope or wrap the rope around the object.
Well, Tia said you can use it for binding me. Yes, you could tie somebody up with rope, couldn't you? You often see that in movies when
movies. What type of movies, Steve?
Well, sort of when when a robber goes somewhere and is robbing somebody's house, they tie them up with rope.
So what movies are you watching where people are being tied up?
Old silent movies.
Oh yes, what you mean, like the damsel in distress?
Yes, would be tied up with a rope.
Yes, on the railway track. And she's going, help, 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 someone save me, someone save me. Yeah.
Yes, Diana says it's a rope used for keeping boats safe in the harbour. Yes, exactly. That's quite a thick, heavy rope. So yes, that could be used for a boat, couldn't it? I mean, you can get different ropes.
Yes.
Somebody said earlier on that you could use it for hanging somebody.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Most of the things that we've used today can actually be used as a weapon. Well, I don't know about a ladder. Can you use a ladder as a weapon? I suppose if you had the ladder in your hand and you hit someone with the ladder, or maybe you pushed someone off the ladder, and maybe they were holding an axe in their hand and also had some rope around their neck. Yes,
what?
Yes. Maybe you could use all three of those things.
You can have a ladder made of rope.
Yes.
You can have a rope ladder.
Yes, rope ladder. Or maybe like Tarzan. Tarzan just has one piece of rope. I remember at school, one of the things I hated doing at school was climbing up the rope. Did you ever do that, Steve? You had to climb up the rope.
In gym class.
Yes, in gym class.
Yes.
And strangely enough, the person that took our gym class was called Jim.
Yes, so you can use rope for tying things. You can use it for climbing. Cap Devi says in London they used a rope to hang somebody momentarily, and then while they were still alive, they would cut open the stomach and then burn the intestines in the presence of the crowd. Yes, we did used to do that.
Yes, we.
It's called hung, draw, and quarter somebody.
Yes. So a person is hung, they are drawn, which means they are cut open, and then they are quartered, which is, I think they are divided into 4 pieces by being tied to horses.
And they're still alive at that point.
Isn't that great? What a lovely, lovely part of the judicial system that we used to have here in the UK.
Yes, Sue Jin used a rope to climb the stone wall when she was a child.
Ah, yes, yes.
Sergio can use it to secure our necks. Yes. Tug of war. There's a good one. English with ASCAT.
Yes.
Used for playing tug of war.
Yes. I remember... Do you remember the time that all of the people that lived in our little village, that we all got together and played tug of war?
That's a game that you play at school very commonly. A long piece of rope, and you have 2 teams of people, maybe 5 or 10 people, and you have a space. You have a piece of rope in the middle where nobody is there. Then you have everyone holding onto the rope, and then when somebody says pull, both teams have to pull the rope as hard as they can, and the one that wins is the one that pulls the other team over a marker or a line on the grass.
Maybe we could do it now, Steve. Shall we have a tug of war?
We could do. Yes. I'll right, Mr. Duncan. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, Steve.
I've won, Mr. Duncan.
Oh. Unfortunately, Steve is just too strong for me.
Because of all the work I'm doing in the garden.
See, I've got very weak wrists. This is what they said at school. They said, Mr. Duncan, you can't play sport because you have very weak wrists. You see, they're so limp and weak.
Tie thieves' hands like Batman. Yes. A film reference.
Really? Oh yes, I remember Batman used to get tied up quite often. I have a feeling he was into it. I think so. I have the experience of climbing on the rope towards the sky, says Sergio. I don't know what you were taking at the time, but I could do with some of that at the moment. Life blogger, I help my mum with her work in the new pharmacy. Is that using a rope? I'm not sure. Yes. Hello, Life blogger. So apparently Life blogger is actually working with the mum. I help my mum with her work in the new pharmacy. Oh, that's good. That's a good way of helping other people during this difficult time. We used to connect a rope to a tree to swing from when we were children, yes. And sometimes you could hang a rope from a tree, Steve, and then you would tie a large old tyre. And you would swing on the tyre.
And the rope was attached to a strong branch above your head.
Whee! 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 Whee!
Mr. Duncan's reverting to his childhood.
Whee!
He does that a lot. A lot of people play tug of war. It seems to be quite a common thing in many countries. Lots of replies about rope. Well done to everybody. I use a jump rope in my exercises.
Oh, yes, skipping.
A skipping rope.
You could skip with a rope. I remember you showed a very old skipping rope that your mother had. Is that true, Steve?
That's true. I've still got that.
Yes.
Yes, you tie handles to a piece of rope and skip.
Yes.
Which is very, very intense exercise. Boxers use it a lot to train with.
That's it.
And it seems like it's something for girls to do at school, but in fact it's a very difficult thing to be able to skip. It's quite exhausting.
It is. But not as exhausting as laying slabs on your patio.
Oh no, nothing beats that.
So rope, there are some idioms as well. You can have, I forgot all the idioms. They've gone from my stupid brain. Wait there a minute. No, there is money for old rope. Money for old rope. It means you sell something or you do something that everyone has become bored with, or maybe something that no longer serves any purpose. Money for old rope. So someone buys a thing from you that is no longer useful. It is money for old rope. You keep doing the same thing, maybe again and again, and people are bored with it. But you keep doing it. You carry on doing it. For example, maybe all of those Harry Potter books. You know, J.K. Rowling was sitting there and she kept writing them. More and more Harry Potter books. Please, I'm going to write another one now. Here is Harry Potter and the money for old rope.
Yes, it's indicating that you are making an opinion there that the subsequent books really weren't worth the money that people would pay for them. Because
it's the same story. We keep doing the same thing. Maybe superhero movies. They keep having the same stories, the same action. It is a bit like money for old rope. There is no effort being put in to that certain thing. Not like us. We come up with all of this fun stuff every weekend. We put so much work into this, don't we, Steve?
We do.
Think of all the energy that we are using at the moment in our bodies.
If somebody sells something that is very easy to sell but makes a lot of money out of it, you could describe that as money for old rope. Money for old rope. People, and you're surprised sometimes that people might buy something, but it's very easy to produce, but is charged a lot of money. That's money for old rope, that is.
Yes.
Trying to think of another example of something that you might do. You might...
Music.
Music, yes. Music.
The same songs. All of the music nowadays sounds the same. It's all like the same notes. Every song has a da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da with you, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, with you, da-da-da-da, da-da-da, with you. Oh, enough.
Mr. Duncan, it's 4:10 and I'm hungry.
It's 4:10 and Mr. Steve is hungry. So that is it. That is the last thing we were looking at today. Did you enjoy that, though? Did you like that? It was something different. It was getting you to describe things. And as I said, when you take your IELTS or your TOEIC or any other exam that might be testing your ability with the English language, you might have to describe things. You might have to listen to something being read or spoken, and then you'll have to talk about it. So there are more ways of being tested besides just knowing the words. So speaking is only part of any English test. There are other things that you have to prove. You have to prove that you can think in English as well. You have to prove that you can think in English. Thank you for your company. Thanks, Steve. It's been great today. I've enjoyed this. It's been different. Sometimes I like to try different things. Sometimes it is successful and sometimes it falls flat on its arse. I'm not sure what this one is.
Well, the viewers are the ones to let us know.
So did you enjoy this? Was this fun? Or was it just a pile of old pants? Please let me know.
A very interesting game, says Lil.
Thank you, Lil. Very interesting game. Thank you very much. Thank you also to Cap Devi for your lovely donation. Thank you. once again.
Cap Devi wants us to dance to the Paris jazz song.
Oh, I'm not.
Maybe next time.
Yes, I'm not sure if Steve is up to that. Also, we have a big thank you to Aldo. Can I say thank you also to Aldo for your lovely donation on PayPal that I received this morning? Very kind of you, Aldo Farver. Thank you for your donation. And of course, you can leave a donation if you want to on PayPal as well to allow my work to continue forever and ever and ever. Thanks for your company. Thanks, Steve. We will see you later.
Will do.
And what are you doing this afternoon? Are you going back into the garden?
Yes, because I have nearly finished.
Incredible.
So I have nearly finished this task that has taken me 2 weeks. Not full time 2 weeks, but mostly, I would say, at least 7-8 days of work.
Yes.
So I want to finish it. So that all I've got to do now is the grouting.
And so you've got to fill gaps in between the concrete slabs.
I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to finish off here. I've got one more slab to lay, and then 1 or 2 others around the back door that need adjusting.
Okay.
And then all I've got to do is the grouting, because that's an easy job. And if I've got a spare half an hour or a spare hour, I can very easily just mix some cement and do that.
That's it. You don't have to rush, do you?
No. Well, I want to do it before we get a downpour of rain.
Well, you better get a move on that.
I want to do it by the end of next week. I want to finish it by the end of this week.
You better hurry up, Steve, because the weather forecast this week is terrible.
Is it?
Yes, we talked about this last night, didn't we? We saw the weather forecast.
Yes,
it's
rain to ruin, get in the gaps.
It's lots of rain from Wednesday, which, by the way, will be when I am with you next. You can find me on YouTube on Sunday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. Thanks, Steve.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, Mr. Steve. Well, I'll see you in a bit for a cup of tea and a tea cake.
No, I'm Mr. Duncan, by the way.
Okay. Yes, you're Mr. Duncan. I'm Mr. Steve. Must remember. I'm losing my mind. I'm so tired and exhausted from all the hard work.
It's these fine details, you see, that you have to get right.
Bye, everyone, and hopefully see you next week.
Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Steve?
What have I done? Oh.
And he has left the building. Well, he's still in the building. I'm hoping he's going into the kitchen to put the kettle on. Can we have a cup of tea, Mr. Steve? Are we going to have a cup of tea and a tea cake? I think so. Thanks for your company today. It's been an interesting one. Some very unusual moments of time that I did not expect. A lot of this is not planned. And I think it shows, to be honest. Thank you, Yassir. Thank you, Sujin. Thank you also to Valor. Hello to you as well. Hello also, Lek and English with Akshat as well. Thank you very much. Thank you also, Vitas. Thank you, Mauricio, Mohammed, Andy. We have also Helena, Sergio as well. And we have Belarusia, Pedro Belmont. I don't know what happened to Pedro. Pedro just disappeared. I think he has something to do. I will be back with you, as I said, on Wednesday. So I have 2 days free to do whatever I want. I will see you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time, and we will do this all over again. If you like English, this is the best place to come. You can drop in, you can say hi, and you can learn a little bit of English and hopefully have a smile. Let's face it, during these strange times, if there is one thing we all need, it is a smile on our face. If you want to give me a like, please, can you like and subscribe? And then YouTube, lovely, lovely YouTube, will pass my video around for everyone to watch. See you later. Thank you for your company. Thank you also to Tamara. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this. Hello also to Francesca. Thanks for your company. Thanks for joining me. Thank you very much for being here. I know things are weird. I know things are difficult. The world is a little bit crazy at the moment. But hopefully we can all share some smiles and some fun and maybe a little bit of laughter as well. Why not? That's what I say. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to Mr. Steve. Thanks to you for being here with me. And of course, until Wednesday, 2 p.m. UK time, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.